everyone, it's Kristi. Welcome back to my channel. I got some, well, happy mail for me. I got the Precision Glue Press by My Sweet Petunia. It says you are about to enjoy precise, consistent, and effortless gluing every time. This I got from scrapbook.com. And it was $34.95, and out the door I think there was some shipping. I don't remember what it was, but they also let me choose a free gift, and I chose the Scrapbook and Cards magazine, which is a $9.99 value, so I thought that was nice. I've kind of glanced through it. There's some things in here that might be interesting, and no freebies. I thought these all came with like stamps or die cuts or anything. There's not even any like scrapbook papers in here, so I'm not familiar with this magazine, but I like some of the things that are in here. And I think, as we've said before, any kind of card, or I was thinking like for scrapbook layouts, any of these components would be great on the side of a page, and any cards are great for toppers on the front of a see some of these components just to help you with the collage layout. Look how fun this is. Wouldn't this be a great journal cover for like a traveler's notebook? I wish I had that many colors of rickrack. I do have a couple, but I don't think I have that many. But just great, and a good use of fussy cuts, right? Anyway, there's some fun stuff in here, so we may be, I love this for a journal topper, for the cover. Anyway, so that was fun. And then we're going to get to a new project, but I want to open this box if I can. Let's see what's inside. I haven't opened it. I'm doing it right here with you, live, recorded live. That's what we get on the West Coast, recorded live. We watch Big Brother, we get recorded live. We don't ever get live anything because it goes on the East Coast first. So, okay, so this was apparently supposed to stick on here. I'm just going by this, so I'm going to have to glue that on because I think that sticky's probably gone. And that may be from the heat. This came yesterday or the day before when it was really super hot. So it looks like there's a rubber band. That's a nice rubber band. And so I will be saving that one. Wouldn't that be great for a journal? Hello. That's going in my thing here. Okay, so I will be keeping my glue close at hand. So it's foam on the bottom here. Slides, but not slippery. This is where the lid goes. So I'll use the empty bottle. So can you see everything? Yeah. So this lid goes here. So this would have to go, how do you get this out? Okay, that took off both pieces. There's glue in here. So it's ready to go. Maybe. I was looking to see if the top was, if this was even skinnier than that one, because this is a fine top here. I think that one, there we go, got that tight. There we go. Okay. I want to compare this to this, just to see, because this is pretty fine, but it does come out not as fine sometimes. So I would say not too far off. So this must be the bigger one, because I'm thinking this other one is going to be like those little tiny bottles. By the way, you cannot put Fabri-Tac in these bottles. Let's see. So if I take that off, yes, this is much, much finer. Let's see if I can get it without being blurry. You can probably see that. So the gray one is a little bit bigger than this one. And then you get a piece of, I'll just make a pocket out of this. Let's see. Oh wow, that can be very fine. And I'm not having to put any pressure really. I can't make a straight line to save my life, but Maybe I'll get better with practice. And then this stores in there. It says don't leave it outside of the stand because then the nozzle will get, wow, that stuck. Well, right here, I missed. But it's pretty sticky. I do like that. I probably didn't get enough on here. This is cardstock too, and sometimes cardstock has some issues. So now I have a pocket. I'll probably put a thumb hole in that, and we can put maybe a napkin or something. I don't remember. These were left over from something we did last week. Let's see. It comes with just this little tiny print your smartphone camera. Point yours for more information. Okay. So it just has a few things that I already knew because I've watched several videos on this precision glue press. And yeah. So I don't know, that'll get lost somewhere. And then this can go here, but this can stay in here. I'm looking at the bottom to see that it's actually touching that silicone, and it is normal. I don't know if you can see that or not. It is normal for that glue to be on the bottom and it just kind of peels off, but that just sits in there like that. So we're ready to rock and roll. I love that. And then we have the extra glue bottle for something else. I might use this if I was going, I probably would put the same glue in it because it's Nouveau glue, which I've heard is really good. But if I put the Nouveau glue in this, then I would have a bigger and a smaller for larger areas, what have you. Okay, so we are going to work on a new project today. I'm going to save this box. I don't know why. We'll see. I may get rid of it eventually. So we're going to call this Stacked and Staggered. And the idea originally came from G. Kerr. She did a stacked journal, and I think she was inspired by somebody else. I don't remember who. And I did kind of go back and try to watch the videos, but I was a little confused. And so I watched them again, and then it was like, oh, okay, I think I get it. And then Natasha over at Treasure Books, as she does, did one that was staggered. I don't remember what she called it, but she did kind of a waterfall journal that was staggered. So I'm going to combine the two. It's going to be a no-sew binding. We're just going to be using glue to bind it. We're going to be using kind of a tab binding system. That's in my mind that I want to use. And I'm going to use this craft card from Pen & Gear, which is Walmart brand. And it's a little lighter than your normal craft card. In fact, one side is even lighter than the other. It's I don't know if you can see that. This side is not even, this side's a little bit darker than this side. You might not be able to see that on camera. But anyway, we're going to start with 3 of these. And so 1, 2, 3. And I don't know if this is going to work. We'll learn together. And if it doesn't work, we'll fix it. There's always a way. So I'm going to use 3 8.5 by 11 pieces of craft. So if you have 12 by 12, you can just cut them down. Or you can make this any size after you learn the technique. So I wrote notes for myself, and I don't see them. Where are they? Because I've got a bunch of notes for my genealogy. I write notes on paper instead of writing it on the computer because I like to go over them, and I don't want them to be so spread out. Notes. Oh, this is all genealogy. Oh, here we go. All right, so 3 craft, or you could use black, or you could use white, or you can use whatever you want. Cream. I bought a stack from Walmart that also had like a light blue and a pink and an ivory and a cream color in it. So we're going to start with 3. Originally I wanted to do 5, and then I thought, you know what? That's going to be a huge spine because I'm going to do these with a little bit like a 3/8 inch spine, and then we'll stack them together. So that'll make like a 1 inch, 1/8, 1 inch and 1/8 spine, which I think is sufficient. And then later on, if I want to try making more or different, we'll do that. So anyway, 3 cards. And then June 1st, which was Sunday, I couldn't wait to get my, excuse me, Pink Monarch Prints monthly kit. This one's called, I want to call it Briarwood. I don't know why. That's not what it is. It's Rosewood. Rosewood. And this, I did not print everything out, but this is gorgeous. So I've got envelopes. I may or may not use all of these, but I just want to show you some of what I printed out because there were 55 pages in this kit. And yeah, this was great. So this one's called Rosewood Estate from Pink Monarch Prints. Of course, the link will be in the description box. But this is fabulous. So envelopes, pockets, more pockets, tags. Look at this red. And a lot of people don't have red, or they'll have just a small amount. Like this, you know. I go through so much yellow, it's not even funny. I have to call HP and say, send more yellow, because they only want to send one at a time. I love these pockets, love this paper. I think that's my favorite. Then I printed out some of the miscellaneous pages. I did print out, I believe I printed out all of the way I have separated them. I didn't print out the trifolds or the extra waterfall project, but I think I printed out most of the ephemera, and these are great. There's some fussy cuts. These are great. I'm going to keep saying these are great. So this page I loved, but I wanted this for my journal cover. So I put this in Photoshop and divided it in half and made this 8.5 by 11 and this 8.5 by 11, and I ended up with, and I've already cut them apart because they were like this, so they became 8.5, 11, because I think this is the size I'm probably going to need for the cover of my journal. And then while I was there, I divided those again, and I made these larger ones because I thought these would be great for a side pocket kind of thing. I just love the detail in the flowers and the strawberries. So anyway, just playing with that in Photoshop and enlarging them. And then these are all the papers. I printed out all the papers except for the small journal ones, and these are so cool. So this is strawberries in here and flowers, and there's a damask type, couple of those in here. Then this one, oh, so gorgeous. Almost looks like a velveteen kind of thing. More damask. This one has some writing. I have to make sure I go right way up on that. We have this. It's so fun. All of these papers are really pretty. I really was so excited to print out this kit. So there's that rose that I love. It looks like, she said, Elena said the reason that she called it Rosewood Estate is because it reminded her of like an old wallpaper that you might find in one of those old estates. So there's the diamonds, and then we have ledger and more. These look like, almost like carnations or peonies or something. And this one reminds me of like a leaf on there. Very fun. Just the red velvet type color I really enjoy. This one has the flowers, and then here's another diamond. I'm not sure what's in the middle. Looks like just maybe some circles. And this one is like a linen texture, very grungy. And here's another damask type. Okay, so those are the papers and things that I intend to use for this stacked and staggered journal. So where do we start? Well, I'm going to start with my scoreboard. I've got the 8.5 by 11. And be careful when you're scoring because you don't want these kind of curved in one direction. And so I think I'm going to put the curve on the top because then I'll close them with the curve. So because it's 11, I'm going to go at 5.5. Don't want to go all the way through, and then I'll go ahead and fold this. That looks, you'll notice that there's just a slight amount that it's off after you score it. I think that's the way the scoreboard is made, because whenever I've tried to do like an accordion something, it's always slightly off. It won't matter in this project, so don't worry about it. All right, so I'm going to do curve on the top, 5.5, and then fold. Yeah, same thing. Just have that little bit, and 5.5. Okay, and I'm not really worried about the overage or the underage or anything. I guess we could put them all going the same way, but these two are going to be trimmed. We're going to keep this one the same size that it is. So we are going to open this, and we are going to score to the left of center, and actually I probably should do it on the other side, 3/8. So that's going to be at 4 and 5/8. So 1, 2, 3. There we go. It doesn't feel like it. You see the gap up there? It feels like this paper is not cut straight. That might be why the fold is not right. So 4 and 5/8 we are going to score. That is not right. 5.5, 1, 2, 3. 5 1/8. Okay, I'm going to rub that out real quick before I get confused. Let me do it on a flat surface. You can rub out, if you do it on the back side, you can rub it out. These are going to be covered with paper, so it's not going to matter. I'm just rubbing that like so with my, okay, so it's mostly gone and it's going to be covered with paper. Let's try this again. I am going to score this left of the fold 3/8. So thanks for yelling at me. I heard you. 1, 2, 3. I don't know why it was down there. And that's going to give us 1, 2, 3. So 5 1/8. It's going to give us a spine. I guess it doesn't matter unless you have a directional paper. You could do it 3/8 on either side. But the point is, I want this to be staggered. When I do, and I don't know why this is, but when I do this at 3/8, this ends up being about 1/2 inch, and that's what I'd like. So now I would like the next one to be here. Okay, so we can go ahead and score all these, and then we'll trim them. I hope I'm not being too confusing, but you know how I am. So 5 1/8. And then we will, let me see, so we have a 3/8 of an inch, and that gives us that 1/2 inch. Oh, the reason that we didn't score it, I'll have to cut these separate. Okay, I'll show you why I didn't want to score it ahead of time. Because I'm going to cut this one 1 inch off the top and the bottom. Now if I cut this, well, I guess if I put it flat, I could still, yeah, I can still do that. Let's just, I don't know how much editing I'm going to have to do on this, guys. So I'm going to come in here at 1 inch, and I'm going to trim this off. Okay, save these, and then I am going to turn this and cut off 1 inch off the bottom. Alright, I'm going to save those. I don't remember why, but I had something in my head that I could use them for. I'm sure I will find a use for them. Alright, so now we still have that, but then when we add this one to this, we're going to have that. Okay, so yes, you can score it before or after. Now, I'm going to cut this one 2 inches shorter. So I'm going to do it this way because there's no 2 inch on that side. I want from the open end off 2 inches. and save those. And from the bottom or top, 2 inches, because we haven't scored that center. It doesn't matter which side we're cutting from. All right, now I have this small piece. I am going to open it and score. This is going to be at, let's just put it up on the, can hardly see it. So I've got it at 6 right there. Okay, let's put some ink on it because even I can't see it. Yeah, there we go. So this would have been at 5.5. So put it on your 5.5 and then score at 5 1/8. There we go. Alrighty. Now that's my outside for the journal. Alright. Now, I am not going to attach these. You could attach it this way, or what I think I'm going to do, well, I mean, centered, if you want to. I don't know if you could see that, but I think I am going to line them all at the bottom, like so, and it will be stacked and staggered. Okay, so this is going to be our spine right here. It's 3/8 times 3, so about 1 1/8, maybe 1.5 inches, depending on, you know, the score. That takes up just a smidge of a room, so I think that'll be, maybe it's like 1.25 inches total. But we won't. We're going to fill these and decorate these individually, and then we're going to attach them together. And the way I would like to attach them is 3 sides, and I'll probably do a double line, double line, double line, so it's sturdy, because I want to attach that here. Probably line it up at the bottom, like I said, and then the same thing on this bottom piece. I will attach that, actually be like this. Okay, so I will attach each of these pieces as a pocket so that we can slide something in between there. But in the meantime, we will use the papers to cover these pieces or mat them. And then the pages in between will be glued in with a tab kind of method. Losing my words today. Probably need to finish my coffee. Anyway, so that's my plan. And so if you want to play along, go get you some cardstock and get you a kit you want to work with. If you want to work with the Rosewood Estate, it'll be in the description box. And but any paper kit will work. I have printed my papers out on 24-pound paper. You could probably use a 28-pound. I wouldn't suggest using cardstock for the paper. And then all of my ephemera pieces, which there again I may or may not use all of them. I just wanted to have options. Those are printed out on 110-pound cardstock, both of which I purchase at Walmart because I believe it is pretty good quality paper. I have not had any issues with them. I even get the Kraft at Walmart, and I don't see any reason to buy expensive paper for something that I'm going to distress and tear, and you know what I'm saying? You want something that's going to be sturdy enough but not crazy expensive. You don't need presentation paper or any of those kinds of things. So nothing fancy, just use what you have. Oh, I forgot to point out that there's a needle in the top of these bottles that you will have so that your glue doesn't dry out. However, you need to make sure when you're closing, and I did see this on a video of a couple people, that after you're using your glue, that you kind of get the glue out of the spout so that the pin doesn't get glued in there, because if the pin glue gets glued in there, it could actually come out with the lid, which not good, but we'll be careful. We'll be mindful of that. So I think that's it. I'm going to call this a video, and I'll be back and we will start decorating. So thanks for joining me, and have a great day. See you next time. Bye now.